Hey guys, Chris from Rekkid Talk. So we're going to do 5 records in 5 minutes, 5 and 5. Liz Phair today. So 5 of her 7 studio albums I'll be talking about. Let's start with the best, the debut, Exile in Guyville. This is like a 10 out of 10 album. So I've got the original CD on Matador. And then I have an OG album as well. And I got this OG album. This was actually something I inherited from my dad. So when he passed away, going through his record collection, this was like the single most surprising thing that was in his record collection. Because this is obviously Liz Phair, somebody who's like my age. Um, and his collection had like most of the stuff would be like Bob Dylan and Van Morrison and that sort of stuff you'd expect for somebody his age with his taste in music. But somehow Liz Phair Exile in Guyville was there. And so, I mean, obviously, I really like Stratford on Guy, um, Mesmerizing, 6'1". But I mean, this is just, it's 2 discs on the vinyl version, and it's just an outstanding album, 10 out of 10. And I really wish that she had held up these sort of standards throughout the rest of her career. I know recently they did the Girly Sound of Guyville box set, which I actually don't own. I've listened to that on streaming. Um, so since we only have 5 minutes, let's talk about. Here's my second favorite album of Liz Phair. So this would be Whip Smart from 1994. So not actually that long after Exile in Guyville. So songs like Nashville and Go West and Supernova was probably the well-known song. There's a song on here I like called Cinco de Mayo. Today is May 4th, so Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow. And so one of the things that I say about when I kind of compare Juliana Hatfield versus Liz Phair is that Liz Phair's best album is a 10 out of 10. Even though I'm a huge Juliana fan, she doesn't have a 10 out of 10 album, but there are probably about 10 Juliana albums that are better than Liz Phair's second best album, Whip Smart. And so, um, and now, of course, I was talking about how my dad had the Liz Phair record. So when he was still alive, living in Austin in the 90s, I'd gone down to visit him. We actually went to a concert together. That was the Violent Femmes. And a few days later, Juliana Hatfield was playing. He didn't go to that one because he had no idea who Juliana Hatfield was. But somehow he knew who Liz Phair was. I mean, she was pretty. She was kind of a critic's darling, so she probably found out about her that way. And of course, we're originally from Chicago, and Liz Phair grew up in Chicago. So then the other album from the 90s is White Chocolate Space Egg from 1998. I know there are some people that like it better than Whip Smart. I would not say I'm one of them, but I like Johnny Feel Good. Um, and some of the other songs on here are not too bad as well. Um, and so we only got about a minute left, which is fine because honestly, I'm not a fan of the 2000s output. So we've got the critically reviled self titled album from 2003. And so that song, Why Can't I, was actually the biggest hit of her career in terms of place on the Billboard singles chart. Um, Extraordinary, these sorts of songs. I mean, a couple of them were like clearly gussied up. She was trying to sound a little bit too much like a Avril Lavigne type. And since you'd heard Exile in Guyville, this was so disappointing. But I'll still say that there are a few decent songs on this record. And then 2005, Somebody's Miracle doesn't really have the chart songs. It doesn't have. There's not really much to say about this record, and I'm almost out of time. I almost never listen to this one, and so again, this is the one to listen to.